Everybody.
Hey, we're hanging out outside on the porch today.
That's right, we're on the front porch.
That's right.
And the camera is low, so it's not good camera features for me.
Oh, yeah?
So,
Why is that?
makes all my fat look big.
Oh,
So just pretend it's an up angle and that I look really skinny. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. All right, guys, we love you. And today is Luke 16. Let me tag everybody. Tag, 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 tag. Yeah, we got the iPad on a little table, so it's looking up, which makes it not look good.
yeah.
Angles are important.
Angles. It's all in the angles.
Yes. Well, we split this chapter up, and so Rick has the first half.
And so, actually, the only part I picked out of there today was where Jesus was saying the law and the prophets were proclaimed until John, and since that time, the good news of the kingdom of God is being preached. And it's interesting because I have notes on this somewhere here.
Mm-hmm.
What did I do with them? Oh. And Jesus' point was that up until John the Baptist, the law and the gospel, or the prophets, were being, foretelling about Christ coming. And but after John, Jesus is actually fulfilling those prophecies.
True.
And it's kind of nice because we can see that Jesus isn't a, Johnny-come-lately, Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
He's been talked about for a long, long time. I mean, 2,000 some years with Moses and everything like that. So, and Jesus even says that heaven and earth will pass away before even one stroke of the law is passed away, because that's how important it is. And so, all the truths in the Old Testament are not going to pass away, because they all point to Christ. They're shadows and types of who Christ is.
That's good.
And the neat thing is that Jesus did fulfill everything that was said in those prophets.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how you verify that he is the Christ.
Like, we actually got it easier because we have the pre-Jesus and the after-Jesus, where they're living in the after-Jesus, so it would be hard to have that. We have both. So in a way, we have it better.
Yeah, we do. I mean,
so in that sense.
Because what was like kind of in shadows and types is now revealed fully in Christ.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
And
hi, Mom. Thanks for joining.
The other thing that's cool about it is you see that God really fulfills his promises.
Yes, that's true.
And his promises are about Christ, so it's kind of neat.
I like that.
Yeah.
Thanks, honey.
Yeah, so
well,
that's it.
I hope mine's not too long. I like the first part of my section is talking about where Jesus is Luke is saying it, but Jesus is talking about divorce. And it's kind of interesting to me. I thought it was kind of interesting to point out, Luke only has one sentence of divorce that Jesus talks about. And the reason being, though, I thought this was kind of neat because Matthew has a real long section of it, but Luke only has it, is because the main point here is that this explanation is from Jesus. It's countering the rabbi's doctrine, which permitted men to divorce their wives easily and for any reason. So remember, a lot of times the stories we hear are for a reason, and so that's what this one was for, is because Jesus is saying to the rabbis who would just, the men would just go divorce anybody because it's a Tuesday or a Thursday, or maybe because the angle's wrong. Thank you for not divorcing me. So
I love your angles.
So I think that's kind of cool, though, that he's pointing that out. Is he's talking to a specific audience, saying you can't just divorce people because you want to. It's just because it's Wednesday. So I thought that was kind of neat.
That is pretty cool.
Kind of puts it in perspective. And then I thought this was a cool story on the rich man and Lazarus. And so you guys have all heard this story, and stuff like that. But one big note to point out is that even the flames of hell do not atone for sin or purge hardened sinners from their depravity. Mm-hmm. You don't change in hell. And I thought that was interesting. I got that from John MacArthur's notes, because the rich man is in hell, or Hades, and he's like, well, if you could just send Lazarus here, he could help me. Or if you could just send Lazarus to my brothers, they could be saved. But the thing is, one thing to point out is that rich man down there is down there, and he's not changing. His heart's not changing. He's not converting. He's still the bad guy he was. Mm-hmm. And so I thought that was an interesting thing to point out. You don't change in hell.
That's a really good point.
And then remember that the gospel itself is the power of God unto salvation. And since unbelief is a heart moral rather than an intellectual problem, no amount of evidence will ever turn unbelief to faith. And again, I thought that was neat because everything we keep reading says it's a heart thing. It's what's on the inside, not on the outside. It doesn't matter if you're prestigious, rich, this or that. It's what's on your heart. And so no amount of anything in intellect is going to fix that and make you believe in God. It's in your heart. So I thought that was pretty.
Those are some great points.
Oh, that was neat.
Yeah.
And then one last one on there. And so this is why Abraham did not send Lazarus to the rich man brothers, because at his request, because if Jesus was saying is if the brothers didn't believe in the prophets that were there already saying stuff on earth, they're not going to just believe it because someone gets raised from the dead, again, because it's not an intellect thing like, oh, I see it, now I believe. It's from the heart. So if they don't believe already, they're not going to believe then, too.
That's true.
So I thought that was neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
So,
That's good. Well,
anyways, a little bit longer.
Yeah, those are some really good points.
Thank you.
Yeah, so,
All right, guys. Well, that wraps it up for Thursday's edition.
yep.
Tomorrow's Friday. Woo woo! And we'll see you for the 17th for chapter 17.
That's right. Keep rocking on with the rock.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.